Hi guys, welcome to the month of May. This is one of my favorite times of year for one reason, and that is Mermay. As I'm sure you guys know, a lot of online artists and creators are going to be posting a lot of mermaid content to the internet this month, myself included. I absolutely love Mermay. I had an absolute blast participating in it for the first time last year, and I'm so excited to do the same this year. I've got 15 posts all ready to go on my Instagram, and this year, the month of May has 5 Tuesdays in it. So I have 5 mermaid themed videos lined up for you guys. And what I want to do this year is I want to focus in on doing a little bit of character creation for each of these videos. And the way I'm going to be doing that is I'm going to be taking 5 different popular types of mermaids, and I want to try creating mermaid characters that are based around those 5 specific types. For example, for day number 1, we're going to be doing the classic Siren. A lot of people know what this mermaid is. When you ask someone to name a type of mermaid, they're usually going to come back with a siren. There's a lot of different references to sirens in pop culture and ancient culture as well. And I want to take this opportunity to not only design my own siren character, but also to learn a little bit about them. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and hop right in. Now, I know the myth of the siren originally started out as like a bird person, which I think a lot of people would refer to nowadays as a hag. But it's definitely evolved in pop culture to mean more of a mermaid. Specifically a mermaid that enjoys luring people to their death, popularly by the method of singing a song so irresistible that sailors can't help but maroon themselves on the rocks that the sirens are singing on. And in most cases, they end up being eaten by the sirens. So we know that a siren is generally a villainous character. So I do want to kind of add a bit of darkness to the design. And I'm going to be doing most of that in the coloring, but I think something I want to incorporate is just a little bit of like maybe some sinister looking spines or fins that might give away that this is not a wholly virtuous creature. Now, as we're jumping into the tale here, I wanted to bring up a debate I see on the internet quite often, or rather I see examples of it on the internet quite often, and I like to debate it. But do mermaids have fishtails, or do they have knees like a human would? And I am wholeheartedly in the camp of mermaids having fishtails, or whatever tails their lower half is based on. I think the human knees just kind of look silly. They don't make a lot of sense when it comes to the anatomy of the mermaid. Humans are not very good swimmers compared to fish, so it would just make sense that a mermaid is going to have a fish or a dolphin or a whale or an eel or an octopus tail over human legs. Adding in a couple spikes here. This is kind of to show that she is a little bit evil. You know what? Evil's not the right word, because she's just doing what she needs to do. She's gotta eat. It's not really her fault that humans are her main source of food. That's just how she evolved. And she's got to do all the hunting too, because especially in earlier, more misogynistic times, women were not allowed on ships. So the only prey she had access to was human males. So the females are the ones that are doing all the hunting, because they're the ones that supposedly are going to be catching the men's eye. And again, I know in the original myth of the siren that they were actually quite ugly, but I really think it makes more sense that these creatures kind of evolved to look, at least on their top half, like attractive human women, just to kind of sell the facade a little better. But still, she's out here every day working, while the mermen sit at home and do nothing. Actually, that's probably not true. You know what? In the Siren society, they've probably got very matriarchal societal standards, because in their case, it's the females that are providing for the men and children. And I wonder if the siren evolved to look like the most pleasing form to sailors, which would be a beautiful human woman, then what does a male siren look like? I bet they're a lot more fish-like, just because they don't need to look convincingly human. And I think it would just make a lot more sense for them to have more aquatic features if they are going to be living solely underwater. I've kind of made her body really tiny. Let me just scooch that down a little bit, give her some breathing room. Of course, we've got to add the long, beautiful hair. What is a mermaid without their gorgeous hair? And I think for sirens especially, it needs to be particularly long and beautiful, kind of oozing femininity. Although having said that, I do think that more modern day sirens would probably look a lot different, because as society evolves to allow women on ships, allow gay men on ships, plus with the standard of beauty changing so often, sirens would have to evolve pretty quickly in order to keep up with societal standards. I'm gonna say this siren is probably fit for maybe the early 1900s. In that case, I'm gonna make her just a little bit more full-figured. Definitely that hourglass shape. In my mind, everything on this part of the siren is basically just like a anglerfish lure. It's completely non-functional aside from being bait. And of course I'm gonna give her a nice open mouth because she's singing to the sailors above, saying, "Come down to the depths, maroon your ship on the rocks, and drown yourselves so that I may feast." I'm gonna give her sharp teeth here. Actually, I was gonna give her fangs, but I'm thinking more aquatic. They're definitely gonna have like shark teeth almost. Something like that. I'll refine it a little later. I always kind of want to give sirens something that gives away the fact that they're not human. And I think I'm gonna put that something in the eyes. I'm kind of thinking I want to leave it without a pupil just to seem a little otherworldly. And I think it also makes it look like she's definitely got something sinister about her. Just gonna refine some of these bits here. There we go. Make sure I got all the hair kind of flowing around. You know what? I kind of hate the teeth. As much as I feel like she would need them, they might actually be getting in the way of her luring abilities. So I'm just gonna do normal human teeth. And I think I'll do a bit of a sharp canine. Ooh, definitely some angular brows. Gotta remember we're looking at her from underneath, so they do need to be up quite a ways. Kind of thinking I need to pull her hairline up a little bit, because I know, again, we're looking at her from underneath, so the forehead is going to be pretty small, but that seems teeny tiny. You know what? I'll just pull her whole face down a little bit, is what I'll do. There we go. Let's give her a couple more fins here. We've got the pectoral fins, I believe these are called, even though they are no longer on her pectorals. And that's it. That's the only name of fins that I know. Other than this, I know this is a fluke right here. I'm just gonna make things a little spikier. Kind of want to do like a little bit of a tear in the fins even, because she does have quite a violent method of tracking down prey, I think. So sometimes they might struggle. She might get into fights. So I think maybe a torn up fin, something like this, might lend to that backstory a little bit. Maybe a scar. Oh, I kind of like this. I kind of like giving her a little bit of a battle history. Because everything up here is going to remain like very beautiful, very pure, very human. And then down here is definitely where we see her more dangerous side. I don't really care about tasteful nudity, but I think YouTube does. I am definitely running out of room here. Let me just scrunch her up a little bit. Sort of elongate the tail, make it a little scarier, and beautiful. All right, that's about all I got for you on the sketch. I will join you back here for the final reveal, but I'm very happy with that. I think it was a good choice to leave the eyes pupilless. It kind of adds to the mysterious, like, lure, come hither look, but also makes her look very, very dangerous. So I'm very happy with that. Yeah, I will meet you back here for the finished product and we'll see what we think about her. Hi guys, I'm back with the finished piece of our Mermay week 1 drawing. This is our siren character. I love how the colors turned out on this. Halfway through the coloring process, I kind of thought, like, what if we make the top half the really like welcoming and inviting part, because it's the part that the sailors are going to be attracted by. So I made it very warm, very vibrant, very welcoming. And then towards the bottom, like as you get deeper into the water, I tried to like make the colors a lot darker, make them a lot more desaturated and a lot cooler to kind of give that unsettling feeling in opposition to the really warm upper half. I'm super, super excited with how it came out. I absolutely love this one. I added the little chain at the bottom, mainly because it was lacking a little bit of detail in that area, but I also wanted it to look like she was a bit of a tougher character, like she'd gotten into a fight with humans before and actually escaped. And the chain is just kind of like permanently tangled around her tail. I love how the spiky fins came out. And I think my favorite part is how the hair gets like really, really dark and kind of inky at the bottom. It reminds me of like ink flowing through water. I'm so, so happy with this one. I think it turned out so well. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. This has been week 1 of Mermaid, where I am drawing characters out of 5 different types of mermaids every week for the month of May. I'm also going to be posting the speed drawing of this, all the line art, the coloring, the Foley rendering. I'm going to be posting that to my reels with a bit of commentary there as well. So make sure you check that out. If you do want to see this mermaid in full, she is not going to be on my Instagram until the end of Mermay. I've already got another Mermay series going on there and I don't want to interrupt that. So she is actually available to the public on my Patreon right now, if you want to go check her out there. If you do want to see some of my other art, including the second Mermay series that I've got going simultaneously right now, I'm actually doing a series of mermaids inspired by sushi and different kinds of food found in a Japanese restaurant. You can head over to my Instagram. I also stream on Twitch. If you're watching this video as soon as it comes out, I'm going to be live tonight at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm usually live on Twitch on Tuesdays and Fridays. I mentioned my Patreon before, where you can see this lovely character right now, but I also have loads and loads of early access and exclusive content there, including everything I'm doing for Mermaid this year, the videos, the sketches, the fully rendered pieces that I'm doing from this series, plus the sushi mermaids that I'm doing on my Instagram series. You can get all of those 3 days early if you sign up under the Content Fiend tier on my Patreon. I'm also posting these to TikTok as well. I'm trying to get a little bit more active on that platform. And finally, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can find your way back here for next week's video. I love you guys all so much, and I will see you back here for Mermay Week 2. Bye!